Hello, 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 and welcome to Married to Medicine. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is season 9, episode 12, entitled The Streets Are Talking. Okay, let's get right into it because on this one I'm a bit long-winded. All right. I know y'all clocked the time, and if you didn't, you're looking at it right now. Yeah, it's correct. All right, so let's get into it. And it opens with Dr. Karen talking to his kids about making the house safe. Now, Dr. Karen is Anila's husband, and Karen says that when they discovered the house being broken into, it was just a lazy Sunday. When they got home, they discovered all the cabinets upstairs were left open. Karen called the police. The next day, they left and went where Anila's parents are for 2 weeks. And at some point, Dr. Karen beefed up the security and the house. Now, later, I do notice that he says, when you left, this is what I did. So I can only assume that when she left with the kids for 2 weeks to go be with her parent, that's when he beefed up the security. Anyway, I don't give a damn when he legally. I'm just glad that they did it. Anila alludes to not feeling safe in the house anymore. Karen says someone was watching us. Anila says it feels like someone was like, I want to get you. That's quote, I want to get you, end quote. Karen says, you know what happened a couple of days ago? Cutaway to Toya at Quad's party telling Anila, bitch, I'll put my shoe in your fucking face. Alright, now that's end quote, because that's the quote, baby. But even though she said that, she didn't say, bitch, I will rob you. Okay, she didn't say that. Karen says prior to the invasion, he was relaxed, but now it's on lock like Fort Knox. Okay. Okay. Now, he didn't say it was on lock like Fort Knox, but I came to that conclusion as he walks Anila through the house and she is shown the new security measures. But when her and her husband get to the closet, she begins to break down because that, she explains and admits, was her happy place. And now all she sees when she walks in is a bunch of things gone. And she says, quote, every freaking piece of jewelry, end quote. So she's freaking out. Karen says, it sucks, but even though I hate to say it, it can be filled back up again. I wonder if any of her promotional items were taking that maybe she didn't have a chance to promote yet. And the only reason why I'm asking that is because I'm curious, okay, about how that works in situations like this. That's all. That's all. But my heart goes out to her. Um, I've never been broken into. Praise the Lord. Okay. Never had my home, house, or apartment been broken into. However, I've had things stolen from me. Believe it or not, from my car. My car is my most relaxed place, and I shouldn't even be saying this, but like, that's the thing that I may forget to lock or have the windows rolled down, things like that. And my car is has been in the past often broken into, and like everything in it was taken. Every time too. Just everything every time. Everything every time. And it's been, I don't know, maybe about I'm too embarrassed to tell y'all. It's none of y'all business. I done decided right now, halfway through my explanation. It's none of y'all business how often my car has been broken into. I'm much careful now though. Like the years, like what I'm talking about is at least a good 16 years ago. Okay. So my car has not been broken into. Let me knock on wood. But it hasn't been broken into for at least about 16, maybe 17 years. You know. But just that's what I have to draw on when I can relate to someone when they say that they feel violated and their whole collection is gone. Like, y'all do not understand. The very first time was when CDs first came out, and I was an avid member of the Columbia House, and I actually paid them. I didn't do no little trick, and I had two full. Actually, well, for you guys to understand, like it would equal probably 10 books. 10, at least 10 books of CDs. But I had those big, nice ones that had 4 pouches, and they were leather. Honey, y'all, I was doing the most. Okay? And somebody broke in my heart and took both of them motherfuckers. I can laugh now. That happened like that happened 25 years ago, and as y'all can see, I still ain't forgot about it. Cause I had collected that. It was a long music collection. From ever since I had got a job. Okay, which started in high school, and all the way till I had got out on my own, and then was making better money and bought some leather bound big old books. It was like at least I think it was 100. It was 100 per book. Had 2 books. That's 200 CDs. I have been collecting all my life, honey. So I know how she feels when she says it's just gone. It's just gone. All of it is gone, and I'm traumatized. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Then I restarted my collection and then got a new car too that had a six disc CD changer. Okay, when they first came out. Okay, I thought I was doing the most. Honey, got robbed again. All I had was the ones that was still in there. My 6 CDs. Anyway, I know how it feels to work for something and have your shit taken. And it's like, come on, man. I work for this. What the fuck, man? I should have looked into whether or not I was targeted. I may have been targeted. Actually, you know what? Somebody said something so ignorant to me one time, and maybe because it's put on my heart to go ahead and say this and share it. Now, I want y'all to understand I'm not saying this about Anila and Dr. Karen. I'm not. I'm just getting ready to tell y'all what a person said to me when I felt like when I did feel like, well, I said, why do people steal from me? That's what I said. And this mofo said, well, probably because you can replace it. You're in a position where you can replace it. And you're around people who want it and can't afford to buy it. Boom, boom, boom. I said, Oh, and then I said I can't afford to replace it. They was like, you can, and they can't. So I was like, fudge Rooney. I'm trying not to cuss y'all. But anyway, so moving right along though, but that was an opening of my mind when they told me that, when I was like, why do people keep, taking from me? Things that's not theirs, and like, what the hell is this? Because I was feeling targeted. But that was for real though. Like, and that was because it was multiple times. This is different, but I still know I relate to her on the fact that you have a collection of things and they mean something to you, and somebody just takes it like it's just gone. Like, you just wake up, go to your car, or her, she just come home and the shit is just gone. Like, that is very it's very much a messed up feeling. Very, very much. All right. Now, cut to Quad and Mason eating. She demonstrates how she wants him to clean up around his mouth, okay? And then hands him the same paper towel. The first thing that little boy says is, "Did you put that on your mouth?" Okay, okay. I'm with you, Mason. That's how I was as a kid and how I am still today, quite honestly. Okay. Did you put that on your mouth and now you handing it to me to put on my mouth? No, ma'am. But she explains that it did not touch her mouth. She was only demonstrating. This turns into a good old fashioned Bravo montage. I'm excited because we see that Dr. Jackie has hired a new black female physician for OBGYN. Dr. Jackie says there's a need for that. This is not the first time that I've heard that, because they say that a black woman's mortality rate when giving birth is much higher than any other race. Now, I've heard that before this show. Okay? Let's get that clear. But they say that's because it's been said that when black women are in pain, they're not believed. Okay? Okay. So let's recap real quick. The mortality rate for black women giving birth is higher than any other race because when a black woman says that she feels like something's wrong or she's in pain or however she expresses how she feels, they say that they don't believe them, and so it goes untreated and then they die. That's what we're talking about. So that's attached to Dr. Jackie saying that there's a need for more black women as OGBYNs or OBGYNs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I understand what she's saying. Now, what I am going to say is, fortunately for me, I haven't experienced that. But I've only had one child and my team of doctors, and everything went smoothly. And they even used me for training until I told them all to get the hell out because they was getting on my nerves, and to cut her out because I was in labor for 18 hours. Okay. But I was only brought there because my water had broke. So maybe that's why they thought they should use me as an example for all the kids. Plus, I was very nice and understanding. And they asked me if they, had permission to use me as the subject for teaching these interns. Look like Grey's Anatomy up in there. Anyway, I'm gonna spare you guys all the details, but when it got to a point where I was like, okay, stop it, because I'm tired. It was 18 hours, baby. Let's cut this baby out. And then that happened and everything was smooth. But fortunately enough for me, like I said, I didn't have any issues, and I am very much black. I'm a black woman who had labor. But unfortunately, I know that there's a mortality rate, excuse me, that's higher amongst black women. And I did not look up, and I'm not gonna look up because this is not what I'm doing right now. but that's just facts as I previously saw them. I previously did look at it, okay? It was nothing for either of my channels, which is why I'm not bringing it up. It was something for something else. But so I know that it was a true fact at some point. So I understand where Dr. Jackie is going with this. I understand what her end goal is, and more power to her, okay? Because communication needs to be great with the doctors, and as well as the doctors understanding the communication that is being given. And I don't feel like race has anything, I feel like race shouldn't have anything to do with it. I feel like with communication, race doesn't have anything to do with it. With communication, whether you can understand someone or not, if you're a good doctor, I feel like it's that doctor's choice on how to treat the patient. So understand what I am saying is that good communication does need to be had, but the reason behind the high mortality rate, I don't feel like that has to do with communication. I feel like that has to do with racism, point blank and period. But you are definitely free to drop down in those comments and let me know how you feel about this. If you so please, communicate as well as possible. Okay? Okay. All right. Cut to Dr. Eugene telling Toya he's now going to take a new job as an oncology care specialist, which means he'll be working with cancer patients. He explains it as an urgent care for only people with cancer. Then they go grocery shopping for his son's 12-year-old co-ed birthday party where Eugene will be his son's sous chef. And that's very, very cute to me. And I'm glad. I'm glad that he's going to be in oncology if he's good at it. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, let me finish my sentence. I'm glad that he's going to be an oncology care specialist because there are many people in my life who I care deeply about who has had cancer. Some of them have passed away and some of them have fought and survived cancer. And so I don't know if you guys are a sagey where you've listened to me from the beginning, then you already know what I'm getting ready to say. The cancer fundraisers are the ones that I choose to support and give money to. I decided a long time ago that cancer was my fun, that not my fundraiser, but the fundraiser that I would give all my money to. All my money. And I know there's lots of fundraisers for this, that, and the other, people who are left-handed. Give some money to them, and I'm left-handed, so I wouldn't mind it. But me personally, I tell them, you know what? I already give to fundraisers, and my fundraiser of choice is cancer. And I remember now, for the most part, everybody understands because any little extra change I get, I'm donating it to the Cancer Society or the like. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. For personal reasons now, because we got to find a cure for this and we need to knock this off. Now, for the most part, I'd say 90% or higher, they understand. But you get that little 10% that want to be a little spunky and be like, well, everybody's suffering all around the world. Everybody's suffering. And I'm like, okay, so you want me to pay for everybody suffering? Is that what you trying to tell me by your boy, by like get out of here? Like, you don't even make no sense. I told them, and I don't even like to get into it with folks with the fundraiser stuff, because ultimately I'm always gonna look like the bad guy. But all I did was say, no thanks. I'm not giving to this fundraiser because I'm giving all of anything I can afford, I'm giving it towards the cancer fundraisers, the different fundraisers for cancer. And then they want to cuss me out. That's not very healing. I don't know what that is, But anyway, moving right along. Now, cut to Dr. Simone home. They do a Zoom with Omarosa, who tells them the biggest thing missing in their book is that they didn't talk about why they were going to get a divorce. Omarosa calls it a glaring omission. Simone says it's too painful to talk about, while Cecil assures her, poor Cecil. Okay, I'm saying poor Cecil because he don't even know. While Cecil assures her that he has no problem with it, but then she hits us with the undi wapti okay of it all, and she says it'll hurt you too much if I put pen to paper about my true feelings that year. So I'd rather not do it. Boy, ooh, I feel like I was thrown back in elementary going, ooh. Actually, I never did that, but people did that surrounding me. When I had to get a bully up off of me, I say something, people be like, ooh. Okay, anyway, but I feel like going, ooh. She said when she told his ass, when she told Cecil's ass, it's too painful for you if I put my thoughts pen to paper. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Anyway, so all I have to say is, Cecil, if I was you, I'd leave that alone. Unless you are prepared to get a job pressure washing Dr. Heavenly's house. Okay. I'd leave that alone. Dr. Simone says so. So I'd leave it alone. If I were you, Cecil, I'd leave it alone. Dr. Simone said leave it alone. Okay? So just be cool. Be cool. Be cool as a cucumber or be cool as the other side of the pillow. Okay? uh-uh. Be cool. Just be cool. If I was you, I'd be cool. All right, cut to Dr. Jackie leaving the office by 2:30 so she can be home by 3. Okay. She grabs her bag and says she's going to get her life. You better come on. Jackie gets home and tells her husband Curtis that she's so excited about all of her other projects. And then she lists them. Now, to me, it sounds like she lists many, 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 many ones. Okay, like a lot. Not many as in small, but many as in like 6 to 10. I don't know. And now she's excited to have time to work on them. But hold on, okay? Hold on. So you left work early at the office, from the office, to go home and work? Girl, work is work. And honestly, working from home as an entrepreneur can be more grueling than being in an office with an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday position. Okay. I'm just saying that because I know this personally. I know it personally. Curtis presents her with her own golf bag, to which I thought we seen this already in the last episode. Like, I thought we seen that and talked about it, and I expressed my feelings already. But anyway, moving right along. Cut to Toya and Eugene preparing for their son's birthday party. They have, okay, they do have to tell Ashton that his young lady crush won't make it. Toya tells him, and he shrugs his shoulders and says, I know it. The party was very cute, and we do see that Dr. Contessa's son was in attendance as well. Cut to Dr. Heavenly's house, and Quad and Dr. Jackie show up, and they are supporting her in her time of loss with her mother. And I want to personally say to Heavenly, my condolences I truly, truly send my condolences to you, Dr. Heavenly, and your family for your time of loss with your mother. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm jumping forward a little bit, but I got pissed when they even showed Toya's ass saying, "Yeah, you lost your mama, but I don't know how that feel, but I don't have no compassion for you." Girl, bitch, shut up. Now, see, this is why I see when you call her stupid. Now, I have not agreed with you calling her stupid all the time, Miss Heavenly. But this right here, I was like, dang. Now I feel like calling you stupid times 10. You know? Anyway, but my condolences to you and your family. Heavenly goes on to say that she went to a prophetess who told her that her mom has no more pain in her legs and that she's dancing now. That's the same message my grandmother gave me when she passed. Because, like, and I'm gonna say, like, I had a hard time. I had a very hard time with the, and on certain days I still do. And this is even though it was 12 years ago. It was 12 years ago that my grandmother passed, and I still have a hard time with it. But that's the same, like almost the same exact message, because my grandmother, her legs had a lot of pain, and she let me know that she was dancing now. Okay, baby. I'm happy for that. I am. I'm happy for that. Moving right along. I'm still sad on some days, though. Moving right along. And I think that's just because I'm human. But moving right along. Cut to Jackie at home hosting a party. A quote, vaccine drive thank you party, end quote. What exactly is that? Okay. Everyone arrives. They go to the catering truck. Heavenly tries to punk Simone into getting a plate for Cecil. To which she says, "No, I'm hungry." Heavenly says, "Well, I'm bringing my man a plate, and that's why I have sex every night and you don't." She said that. That's end quote. Okay. Now, although that was funny, I can't help but wonder if they had sex that night that he told everybody at the dinner party, at Simone's dinner party. Y'all remember that, right? Her daddy, well, not her daddy, okay. Anyway, Dr. Damon said that the buddy was disrespectful. Did y'all have sex that night? I'm just asking. I'm just curious. I'm just nosy. Okay, I'm just being nosy because you said y'all have sex every night because you bring him a plate. Well, you might have brought him a plate that night, but he sure said you was disrespectful when she wasn't. He probably made, okay. Ooh, I was about to go somewhere where I should not. I was gonna say, if y'all had any kind of sexual contact that night, it was you needing some knee pads. Cut to Quad arriving in scrubs. Okay. They all are in different forms of clothing that represent doctor or hospital medical staff. Okay, even right down to the jackets that some of them are wearing with their stitched credentials on them. Okay, and let me say this. I feel like even though they didn't show it, that must have been something that Dr. Jackie put in the invitation, because for Quad to show up in scrubs, baby, that had to have been in some form suggested or required, because I told y'all that Quad reminds me of me, so that's that right there on how I know for sure. That's how I know for sure, because Quad is like me and I'm like Quad. Not in every way, but in the fashion game, Yeah, so that had to have been suggested in some form, way, shape, or form, and she's just coming through with it because she's trying to show. First of all, she's being a good what you call it, participant. Okay, she's participating. Okay, now does she actually want to show up in scrubs? Probably not. Now, hey, I'm open for the whole thing of I could be Chow. Like maybe she is a nurse somewhere and she just got off of work, but I'm going more towards what I'm saying right now, that that was a theme. She was told what the thing was and she showed up in the thing. Okay, okay. Moving right along. Eugene and Toya arrive and they are at the food truck with Cecil, who tells them that they had to, well, it's Cecil and Curtis, and they tell them that they had to make their own plates because their wives wouldn't bring them one. So Toya is shown asking Dr. Eugene to bring her a plate. Then, when he does, we see Heavenly look at Quad and they start secretly laughing. That's because of their views on Toya and Eugene's relationship. But I have come to the conclusion on my own that it has something to do with production wanting it to make sense. So far as with Cecil and Curtis waiting for their food at the truck, what sense does it make for Toya to tell Eugene to go sit down, I'll bring you a plate, and then she would be forced to record with the guys while the ladies are already gathered? Okay, that don't make no sense. None. And I have some and she be thinking I have some well calculated lines to say. Okay, so I know my part is coming up because, okay, they were late. They were the latest. Now, this is where I feel like production was absolutely right to step in and tell Toya to take a seat and leave Eugene at the truck with the fellas. Okay? This is production we're talking about. If I was in production, I'd do that too. All right, that makes sense. It doesn't make like, well, plus, okay, let me say this on another part of production. Plus, production is messy as heck, which is why the camera specifically caught and showed Heavenly and Quad's face when Eugene brought Toya's food. They did that on purpose, of course, of course. That was very much on purpose, and they're just doing their job. Okay. In this point, I can say production's just doing their job, and that was a beautifully played scene. And I'm just saying that because I can see the value in it for this show. But as a recap and reviewer, that was shady. It was just so shady. As a viewer, I love it. I love it. I love it. Keep it coming, okay? Keep it coming. Cut to Dr. Jackie calls Anila and asks if she's doing fine. She says no. They show Toya laughing with Simone, which is this insider type of some kind of a humor that they got going on that's similar to Quad and Heavenly. Okay? So I do have to say that. Then, in Contessa's confessional, she says she's never seen anything on Anila that she'd want. The ladies move inside, and Contessa asks who would have a hit out on Anila. Some ladies laugh. A cutaway to Curtis attempting to turn on one of the heating lamps. Eugene gets up and turns it on. He then says in the confessional that this is what we do as an ER doctor. I am an ER doctor. We have to save all these other doctors that don't know how to do shit. That's what he said. The quote is, we have to save all these other doctors that don't know how to do shit. Okay. And that's a wide range, a wide term. Okay. Now, I can see he really does think he's the Jay-Z of doctors. I can see it with that statement alone. Now, I do love a confident person. 100%. Okay. But I don't adore a dumb one. Now, I'm not calling him dumb. However, I can't help but point out the fact that Curtis is not a doctor. So while you over there talking about that mess about this scene with Curtis, Curtis is not a doctor. He's not a doctor. So yeah, you talking a bunch of shit about doctors, but Curtis is not a doctor. And besides that, I mean, Curtis was probably tired because Dr. Jackie had him up all day helping with this party. So fuck it if this come on. If Curtis wasn't cold, he really wasn't tripping. So boy, bye. Cut to Toya, who tells the ladies that on that same night she had a Christmas party that started at 1 p.m. and ended at 1 a.m. and nobody saw a thing. Nobody saw anything. Dr. Heavenly says that's awfully weird as a coincidence that Toya had a party and Anila gets broken into. And they live in the same gated community. I think it's awfully weird that we haven't seen her Christmas party and they, Bravo, are allowing her to refer to it, on screen and they're not showing it. I don't know. It's some weird stuff. Just like what they're doing or did with Kathy on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like they're making all these claims and we know that they have footage of it if it happened and if it was true, but they're choosing not to show us. So if Toya actually had a Christmas party from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. that day and she was fully engaged and didn't have anything to do with it, if it could ease any of anyone's suspicions, because I don't even have that suspicion. And I do also know I'm smart enough to know it could be planned before. Okay? Beforehand. I know that. But why don't we see anything to back up anything that anyone is saying? Oh gosh, these producers and editors, I don't know, they just get on my nerves, you guys. So that's all I have to say about that scene. All right, and then cut to Toya asking if Anila got broken into because she's a liar, which Quad said, well, you're a liar too. Toya tells Quad she's lied on her family. Then she says, Heavenly said it. Heavenly demands that her name stays out of it because she's got a lot going on. Heavenly says, I'm going home on that, so kiss my ass and climb a tree. She turns around to make that dramatic exit, and the door won't open. Now, this is a good reason why everybody started to laugh, because I did too. But I know how she feel though. Well, no, 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 no. I've never tried to leave and open up a door and it didn't open. I don't know how that feels. Let me knock on wood. Don't do that to me, Lord. Cause when I wanna, cause first of all, it takes a lot for me to wanna leave, and if I wanna leave, let me leave. Okay, that's the best for everybody. But that was funny. That was very funny. That she said, "Kiss my ass and climb a tree," and she thought she was leaving, and she said, open this goddamn door. Once she makes it outside, she tells Damon it's time to go. The men in the background are mumbling, oh shit, what happened? Heavenly calls Toya a liar and then adds, I don't have to cheat on my man, he has a big dick. And then they show Eugene turning his head like he is lost. Well, sir, your wife insinuated that you had a little dick in Vegas. Okay, she acted like your name was Little Dick Daryl. So you need to talk to her about that, Mr. Eugene. cut to Quad chasing after Heavenly, and she catches up with her like on a top middle tier terrace. And actually, let me tell y'all something. Okay, Dr. Jackie and Mr. Curtis, their house looks fabulous. It looks so wonderful, and they need some credit because everybody was paying attention to it when they bought it, and she said, I'm gonna make it into something totally different. And there was some criticism, and then there was some cheers, and then there was some forget about it, just break up because he cheated. It was some of all of that. But ain't nobody congratulated her on how beautiful she made the house. She stuck with it, stayed together. They look like they are doing great. Okay, so congratulations on that. Sticking together and getting beyond the issues. Congratulations on that. And also congratulations on the renovation of the house. It looks wonderful. So with that being said, I don't know where they at. They on a mid terrace at her house, but a mid terrace because it's not the top, it's not the bottom. I don't know where they at, but they climbed stairs, went downstairs. I don't know where they at, honey. But they at Dr. Jackie's house, who had the nice renovation. Okay, which is why, Quad had to jump up real quick to chase her because otherwise she wouldn't know where she was at. And then Dr. Contessa followed because she would not know where she was at. Okay. Okay, y'all better stop playing with Dr. Jackie. Y'all better stop playing with Dr. Jackie in her house. Y'all would know where she was at. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So Quad does catch up with them, Heavenly, and them is Heavenly and Damon, because Dr. Heavenly marched out and was very boisterous and just basically said she didn't have time for that. And I wish she would have stopped right there, but she didn't. She went on and said more things, as I previously mentioned. Now, as Quad, or I will say production, probably caught up with them first and told them they probably got in a walkie-talkie. Stop them right now. Stop them at the gate. Quad is coming. Let Quad catch up. You know what I'm saying? Because they just look like they just stopped walking. Now, and Quad was just walking up to them. Now, where they do that at? Now, come on now, let's be real. Man, that's not realistic, sweeties. So it just really did look like, production said, stop them, let Quad catch up, let's have this scene. So they do that. I'm not bothered by that. I'm not bothered by that. I'm bothered by, well, no, I'm not bothered by that. I'm not bothered by that at all. But I'm gonna tell you something. Big Daddy, what's his name? Daddy, Damon, Dr. Damon, looking uncomfortable, made me feel uncomfortable though, cause he just really looked like, like he did not want to be there and do that. To which Dr. Heavenly has said that time and time again, that he does not watch the show. He doesn't want to be on the show. He only goes on and do scenes with her when she asks him. Otherwise, he doesn't want anything to do with it, so on and so forth. So that's we all know that. Anyone who's a fan of the show or even a fan of Dr. Heavenly, we all know that she's expressed before that Dr. Damon does not like to even go to those hangouts or whatever. I'm calling them hangouts. Y'all, I'm tired. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, then we see Contessa come running up, and all of them end up hugging it out. And it appears to me that Dr. Heavenly is comforted. That's how it looks to me, in my opinion. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think of the comforting and whether or not Dr. Heavenly should have even come if her mom had just passed. Like, and the reason why I'm asking is because we would assume that a person would be super sensitive if their mother just passed. So one may want to ask the question, why would you even go? And I'm saying that because I watched it with a person, and that's the first thing they said. Why would you go anywhere if your mama died? And I was like, well, you gotta go on with your life, So I don't know. There's one side that feels like, why would you even venture out the house? I guess I don't know. But then me, I'm like, well, but you do have to move on with your life. So drop down in the comments, let me know what you think. But we are going to do what? Move right along. Cut to Toya still in the house talking shit, saying she doesn't know what it feels like because she hasn't lost her mom, but I don't give a fuck. Don't talk about my marriage. And this is quote, I have no compassion for you. Really, bitch? You have no compassion for a person who just lost their mother. That sounds crazy to me. Okay? And Toya, you know, when she's leaving, she's being comforted by Simone. What the fuck is Simone comforting Toya on? I am slightly confused. As it pertains to Dr. Heavenly losing her mom, I guess you know what? What is she being comforted on? Tell me. Tell me what and why Dr. Simone decided to, like, why did Dr. Simone comfort Toya while Toya said, I don't give a fuck about your mom dying. I didn't have my mom die, so I don't know how that feels. She said, I still have my mom and all my brothers, so I don't know how that feels, but I don't give a fuck. Don't talk about my marriage. What? Are you serious right now? Are you serious? And the thing about it is, you guys know that I talk about editing all the time. And I don't know if this lady meant it to sound that way because that sounds horrifying and juvenile. And just, I would hate to think that she actually meant to portray herself as, I don't give a fuck that her mom died. Don't talk about my marriage. And if she meant that, okay, then it's okay. If you actually meant it in the way that it was portrayed, then it's okay for Dr. Heavenly to say every fucking thing that she's ever said about your dumb ass. Now, if this is just editing, then that's not. I hope that this is just editing, okay? And that's all I can say. And that's the end. Okay, okay.